Yeah, well, the things that we see are not always what they appear to be. Sometimes the things we don't even think about are the things that we should think about. It is like a matrix. It is like a program that we're in here. Have you ever paused for a moment and just looked around and gave thought to why? I mean, it's similar to the analogy made of the fish in the small pond. And when the fish rises to the upper levels of the water there and looks up rather, does the fish think that this is all that there is? His tiny world of water, all that he's ever known? I'm no fish. I don't know about you. I am not a fish. If I was in the water, I'd have to be a dolphin, the minimum. So, here we are. All the way into the 2000 and something era. Everything crazy. Everyone moving this way. Everyone's lazy, but striving so hard. Why should we strive so hard? It's just so we can pay our bills comfortably. This is the 2000s. We should have self-sustaining systems in each household. Space age, right? No, we can't get to that. We live in a statist society where if you're not in the ruling class, then you are subordinate to a privileged gang of rulers and their associates and followers. Closest followers, actually. Everyone is trying to run a race. Everyone's trying to win the race. But how can you defeat me in a race when there's no end to the race? So I'm not gonna run the race. I'm gonna live. I just wanna live. You feel me? So there it is. The race has no end. When the race ends is when you die. And then you don't care what happens on this earth. Then you don't care what happens on it. All the while, the people are running around, all this weirdness right here, all this, you can't call me a him or a her, the single motherhood issue, the continuing warfare and bloodshed on the hands of the United States of America, worldwide, the Syrian crisis. It's not a crisis. It's only we need to get the hell up out of there and let people do what they need to do in their own place. You got everybody acting all weird and you can't get a straight answer and you can't get a straight response from anybody. You can't get any honesty because for the male side of the issue, the men are effeminate. If not effeminate, demasculated. You understand? Demasculated or emasculated. You know what I'm saying? So, single mothers raise effeminate males. So the males will get out there and bow down. Extended immigration bleeds out a nation's fabric and bleeds out their integrity. And although I have nothing against the immigrant or any person, I think the world should be open with no borders. But in this situation of tightly controlled economies and limited number of job opportunities that will actually pay for a person's livelihood, and in a world where the government is becoming over dominant. It's already over dominant, and it's in its tyrannical form. They just haven't been able to turn on us totally because of the weapons and ammunition that the American population control. So in that sense, the immigrant doesn't have that bond with the United States of America like that. You know, it's like they're like a millennial in a way. You know, if you get older than millennial, you know, you still have people who are raised up believing that the United States should be the hero and not actually just say we're the hero and be the villain. Where the person without that navigation point in their moral compass can just easily bow down and say, no, just don't do anything, you know. And the immigrant comes here, they want to work and get some money. They're not over here to die on American soil. So they're not trying to rock the boat. They're going to go along with what's happening. They're going to go along with it, no problem. And then these powers that be, they want the male emasculated. They want the feminism to continue. This is why it's so much supported in the media, which of course is controlled by a small number of people who of course can be controlled by another small number. You know, it's just corporatism. It's just bureaucracy, you know. And this allows for the weakening of the American spirit, which actually is a good spirit. It's a good spirit. And it's an issue, you know. It's an issue. I guess there's no way around the fact that eventually the people of the United States will have to either follow their Constitution, which actually demands the removal of the United States government, the federal government, and the replacement of it. It wants us to tear down that government and replace it every 27 odd years, something like this, 26, 27 years. You understand what that means? I mean, really, imagine the United States if we were doing this instead of having these career generational politicians. All we've allowed to occur here is that now we have a new ruling class, just described with a different name. Described with a different name. Kodan and Black here. I'm really not giving a care about it. But how can I not? The Master Blaster himself, the Kodamak Black, signing in, signing off, all at the same time. Peace.